First of all, just how would you sum up this season now that it's over?
You know, personally, I don't think it was, as bad as it may have seemed. Going into year one of a rebuild, a lot of times I think people forgot about that. You're going to have a lot of struggles and a lot of new nuances to kind of go over with, and looking at just the dynamic, a new front office comes in. We have an interim coach. We have new players, new young players that have never played with each other. Those are things that matter, right? And, we tried our best to go out every single night and compete and win. And some nights we did, some nights we didn't. I think this year was really big on the process of, what does it take to, be a professional athlete? What does it take to be, to win in this league? And it's a lot. It's not easy, clearly, right? So, I don't think it was that bad just because of, me personally, I fell in love with the process of every day trying to figure things out. And I think that, that brought me a lot of joy, because it's easy to say we had our worst franchise record history, right? But, so I think that this year was a really good year one for a rebuild, internally, and I think, second half of the season, end of the year, we started figuring some things out. So,
How did you grow personally? And when we talked to you on Media Day, there were a lot of questions about leadership and your role in that sense. So how did that fit into your growth personally as well?
Oh, I grew tremendously. I think, fall in love with that process every day of trying to figure things out. I loved, I think that as a leader, I did a pretty solid job, but, you could always do more and be better. Whether that's learning your teammates, whether that's, learning how to speak to others, learning how to be a professional, at all times, because when you're a leader and when you're top guys, everybody's looking at you, whether it's, players, front office, coaches, media, fans, all that stuff is important, so.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
What kind of stuff did Will and Michael put in place in terms of building the foundation of the rebuild that might not have shown up, like you said, in the wins and losses? What did you notice that was different this year, organization-wide, or how you guys did things on court, anything like that?
Probably communication. That was the biggest thing. I think when I came here, it was just drastically different. For me, I came from a first-class organization. They did things a certain way over there, did it right, and coming here, it was, a little different. And I think that Winger, his background and his DNA in this NBA lifetime, and Will as well, just their pedigree, where they come from, where they learn from, is pretty top tier. And I think that, this is their first time in this position as well. That's more context. But I think they did a really good job. And I think, building a foundation, it was there. So.
You're talking about communication in terms of what's expected of you, or what?
Everything. It's you're the CEO, you're the top, you have to do everything in the organization. So, it's not just communication with me every day and players, it's communication with strength coaches, it's communication with athletic trainers, to make sure that we're on the same page, medically, recover-wise, to get out to court practice, to play, to travel. So in that regard, I think that's huge. You know, that's a little thing, and nobody ever sees it, but it's important.
And then I just wonder what effect Brian had on the team once he was kind of promoted to head coach. What do you feel like he was able to accomplish?
I think he really galvanized the entire group. We were in a rough spot, you know, for many reasons, whatever. But, you know, we had to kind of like look inward at a certain point in the season and, you know, just figure out how do we get ourselves out of, you know, the mood that we had as a team, the mood we came in every day to the arena. We weren't very competitive as a group. That first half of the season, there were a lot of games where game was over at halftime, game was over first 6 minutes into the second half, and we started to compete, and that's the biggest thing, right? Competing, because you know, everybody wants to win in the NBA, but there's only one winner every year, and there's 29 losers, right? So it's not really enjoyable to, you know, just get your face kicked in every night and game's over at half, and you know, you're not playing in fourth quarters. So for us, you know, I think he did a great job of just putting that competitive spirit in us and instilling it within a group setting, and you know, tough job to be an interim head coach. You know, you can't really put your fingertips on everything because, you know, we've learned something for a half a season, and you know, you can't just wipe everything out and go. You know, you have to kind of just dummy things down and try to make it the best you can, and I think he did that. So. Yeah.
Kyle, being the vet and the team leader for this team, what progress have you seen from the young guys, and what improvements do you want to see going into next year?
The biggest improvement is team-wise. I think we did a great job all year of individually getting better. I think everybody on this team, 1 through 17, got better. But, you know, basketball's a team sport. It's 5 people on the court trying to synchronize into one. So I think that, like, we have to, you know, figure out how we can have that success as the individual and put it in like a team concept. And you know, we made steps for that, but we got a lot more room to grow. So.
Got you. Yeah. You're an NBA champion, team leader here in Washington. What's the next level you individually? What's your next goal?
I'm just make people better. You know, I feel like I've established myself in this league. People know who I am. I've got better every single year I've been in this NBA, and I think you know, it's not about me. Like, I gotta make other people better. You know, whether that's walking into the building every day, you know, having a good face on, so like the mood's good, cheering guys on, supporting guys, because can't just go out there and try to score 30 and win. That doesn't work. I'm not that type of player. You know, I believe in the team game, and everybody matters. You know, one night is my night. Next night, JP will have it going. Denny been balling. You know what I mean? Like, we got players that can score and do things. You know, and I see that. So, yep.
Kyle, going back to that leadership piece, when you were no longer active and playing, how do you feel that you took your leadership to the next level with regards to coaching the young guys, working with the coaching staff, what you were seeing the other players who weren't active seeing on the floor, trying to help in the moment, whether it was game, shoot around, practice?
I don't think I really took a next level step. You know, I just remained the same, being myself. You know, film rooms, I'm talking. On the court, I'm talking. You know, helping guys. That's, you know, it's what I've been doing. So I don't necessarily think I took next level by sitting out or trying to do more or be extra. Not really trying to do all that. You know, just trying to, you know, be consistent in what I believe in. I think I try to do that to the best of my ability. So.
You mentioned it briefly with regards to the communication piece that you felt was a big change with this season with the new front office. The other thing that is new, at least to this organization, was the holistic approach that they were taking to player development, not just you working with a specific coach and a specific trainer, but everybody kind of having the tentacles and the conversations and it being one voice within that player and allowing that camaraderie. How did you like that approach, and what did it do for you as you progressed through the season?
I liked it a lot. You know, it was the first time going through something like that. You know, we had certain things we used to, you know, do during the season, whether it was group meetings, you know, from that holistic approach of everybody being in a room, you know, like this with like 13 people and you as a player, and I think that's very valuable. You know, it shows that they care about you, care about how you're perceived and how you're feeling on a day-to-day basis, and, you know, investing in the player, and I think that's extremely important. You know, probably the first time in my career like that was like a real thing, and it was really good, and I think so, and especially for me, because like I'm not the biggest like analytic guy, and they are, but you know, I see, you know, certain things that you know, make sense, and having those type of meetings and that part of player development, you know, I think it helps players. So
From a mental standpoint, do you think that with the way this season kind of went in dealing with the ebbs and flows, whether it was yourself talking to guys or the entire roster, do you think that that approach allowed you guys to weather the storms when they happened and get through the season and refine that joy when Brian took over?
From a certain extent, you know, communication-wise, like I said, like you're in a room with everybody, so you know, you don't have that many chances during the season to, like, you know, be in a room with people from the organization, from multiple departments of the organization, to speak upon things freely and openly, and that's important. Like, communication is the biggest thing, you know. Yeah, wish we would have communicated on defense a little bit more, but we're working on it.
Kyle, when you look at the big picture of where the franchise is headed, what gives you hope?
God, you know, I'm faith, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's not like, you know, you always have to control what you control and play the cards you're dealt, and, you know, always, you know, pray for the best and have faith. And I think that, you know, everything that we do on a day-to-day basis, the process that we try to attack as an organization is there. And I think, you know, this is year one. We planted seeds, you know, waiting for them to grow.
How do you hope the coaching situation resolves in turn, not necessarily with the name of a particular person, but the qualities that individual will bring to things?
I mean, you know, being a coach is just so much more than just like X's and O's, and you know, being around the game for forever. You know, it's about the human aspect of it. It's about caring for somebody, knowing they care for you. You know, because if I know you don't really care for me, then why am I listening to you? Or why, you know, why do I want you in my life as a person, right? And I think that, you know, having a certain emotional intelligence to realize those type of things in any relationship is important, and especially for a head coach, because, you know, to be a head coach, like I said, it's more than X's and O's. It's more about, you know, managing egos, because we all have them. Especially to be at this level, and also, you know, how to, you know, make fair with people, because every decision you have as a team is sacrifice. But, you know, do you think the sacrifice is fair as a player? Are you okay with it? And a lot of that stems from having a head coach that can realize those things. So I think that's important for head coaches.
You've mentioned rebuild a couple of times, so, you know, that's step one. You want progress as a leader on this team, and I'm sure you've had time a little bit to think about what the next step is. What do you want to see change? What do you want the progression to be? And when you sit down with your teammates and people in the league, what do you want to see from this franchise?
I mean, the season ended yesterday, so like I haven't really had time to think and reflect. You know, I think that's you know, if we did this exit like a month now, I'd probably give you like a book about it. But
I'll see you then.
you know, I think right now is a big reflecting standpoint for myself, for my teammates, and the organization. And I think that you know, in this time, you know, the season is so fresh that, you know, we need some R&R time and some, you know, relaxation. You know, it's a long season. You know, it's not just like, what do I need to do next year? Like, no, I need to like calm down, reflect, and, you know, talk about these things amongst my group, my people, you know, to become a better self. And I think that's everybody. So, yeah.
Hey, Kuz. You got that 4-year contract back in June.
Yeah.
How did that impact your mentality going into the season and how you viewed the organization and the front office, that they had that faith in you, they wanted to keep you around long term?
Just super free, you know, regardless of the money, you know, just being able to have a place for 4 years is a blessing. You know, we live in this NBA now where everybody goes places every 2 years, every 3 years. You know, there's a thing called being an NBA journeyman, and I think that anybody would love to sign, you know, a multi-year deal because, you know, you have that certain type of stability. And when you have stability, you know, you can be more free and be more confident. And I think, you know, that really just allowed me to improve and be myself every day. So
Tough season, obviously, where wins were maybe hard to come by. How did your relationship with your teammates from October until now develop and change throughout the course of those tough months?
I mean, I think it was great. You know, we didn't point fingers at anybody. We didn't have no drama. You know, we just were with each other. And I think that that's important because I've been on a lot of different teams that wasn't there, and it was just hell coming into work every day, or you're just like, it's tough. It's dog days. It's a long time, you know, being with people, you know, being with a group of guys for 200 plus days. You know, we're only with our families for less than that, right? So like, this is our family. And, you know, to be with a group of guys that, you know, understand that. And yeah, we're going to have tough times, and families fight and families argue, right? But it was never nothing demoralizing or just tough about things as I had in my past personally. And, you know, that was great. It made it, you know, fun to come to work.
Kyle, you typically come back to the upcoming season with something new in your bag. What on-court elements do you want to add to your game over the next 6 months?
Just be in a whole different caliber of shape. You know, I think, you know, if I could change something from this year, probably just being more a different type of shape and conditioning. You know, I don't think I necessarily realized, like, you know, being at the top of the scouting report, people are trying to stop you every night. You know, it's like, it's a lot. You know, I had to do a lot this year, you know, from a standpoint of like usage and whatnot, and understanding that, like, you know, you have to be able to still keep that up, you know, all 48. You know, so I'm going to take it upon myself to be in really good shape. Yeah.
Thanks, Kuz. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it.